Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with the video. So, my sister-in-law is the drama queen of the family and wants everything in control. She is 6 years younger than my husband, but has never behaved as if she was young. I never expected that she was going to be a typical nosy sister-in-law. My husband are doctors and work in the same hospital. When we first started dating and I was introduced to my sister-in-law, she was very friendly and we bonded well. We would go shopping together, would have lunch, and she would sometimes stay with us for a weekend. She's very close to my husband and is the favorite kid in their family. Time passed and everything was going well. When my husband proposed to me for marriage and we got engaged, my sister-in-law's reaction was not the one I expected. It felt like she was disgusted. She created a scene and told me that she thought we were friends. I assured her that we were still friends, but her problem was that we did not get her involved and had decided everything by ourselves. I was taken aback and told her that as it were our lives and we were entitled to take decisions, we were not bound to involve her. That enraged her even more, and she did not talk to us for almost a month. After that, she resumed talking to my husband but did not reconcile with me. I did not even bother and let things be the way they were. After that, she started staying with us for longer and still did not talk to me. That bothered me a lot, but my husband would say that she was going to take time to accept me and accept the fact that she had to share her brother. As we were both very busy people and were out for most of the time, my sister-in-law staying at our place didn't bother me much. The real battle started when our wedding preparations started. My sister-in-law accompanied us to every shop, still not talking to me, and never left our side for more than 24 hours. She would criticize whatever I chose and would pick something absurd for me, telling me that I looked great in that, talking to me indirectly or telling me things through my husband. We went shopping a couple of times and I did not buy anything just because she would not let me. I told my husband that he had to deal with her and tell her to leave us alone, but he did not even try. We were having breakfast and then had to leave for the hospital when I told my sister-in-law that she had to go back to her parents' house as our privacy was being disturbed. She tried to make my husband stand for her, but he kept quiet, so she had to leave. She created a whole scene and announced that she was not going to attend the wedding at all. Well, we got our privacy back and prepared for the wedding without any interference. She, of course, attended the wedding but did not talk to anyone. She did not bother us after we got married and had told everyone that my husband was no more her brother. She was dating a guy for a while and was announced that she wants to marry that guy. She's quite young and my in-laws are not sure about the guy, so they told her to wait and take her time. She came to our place the first time after we got married and asked my husband to talk to their parents. I did not interfere at all until my husband asked me what I thought in her presence. I told him that she was too young for the responsibility and should listen to her parents. She got up and told me that bitches like me can never see others happy in their lives. My husband yelled at her and asked her to leave. My in-laws called later that day and asked what we said. My husband told them everything. My in-laws talked to her and told her that even though I was not approving of her marriage to that guy, and my sister-in-law lost her cool at that, she yelled at them and said that my opinion did not even matter and then left the house. My in-laws had told us everything before she arrived at our place. She told me that I had put a spell on her family, as everyone did not listen to anybody else but me. She said that she was going to get rid of me soon. I told her I did not know when she was going to get rid of me, but I was going to throw her out right away. I grabbed her from her arm and pushed her out of the house. I hope she gets her senses back. My sister-in-law once again created a huge scene and exaggerated whatever happened at my place. I told my husband the exact story and also that I was never going to allow her in my house again. My sister-in-law kept pressuring my in-laws, so they had to surrender and see my sister-in-law's boyfriend's family to fix the marriage. It was my sister-in-law's engagement. She told my in-laws that she did not want to see me and my husband at her engagement party. My in-laws told her that she had to fix her attitude or she could get engaged on her own. My sister-in-law is in her first semester at university and, of course, cannot afford her wedding. We attended her engagement party and she kept flaunting her dress and things, telling me that her outfit was far more up to date than mine, even when I was married just a few months back. I didn't even respond to her kiddish remarks and enjoyed the party. When the guests had left, my mother-in-law invited us to her place for tea. As we were there, my mother-in-law and father-in-law told us that as they were repaying a loan they had taken from my father-in-law's cafe, they needed financial assistance from both of us as we earn well. My husband and I have not talked about it, but I do not feel I have to contribute to my sister-in-law's wedding, who is psychotic and hates me. My husband had convinced me of financial assistance, and I was also ready just because my in-laws were very kind and deserved our help. We went to their place to discuss how much we had to arrange for the wedding. It turned out to be that my in-laws had very less savings, and major expenses had to be taken up by us. My father-in-law promised that he would try his best to repay as the amount was quite big. We created a bank account and put all the wedding budgets in it. I, my husband, my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law had access to the account. The wedding preparations began and we started shopping. My sister-in-law announced that she wanted the exact gown that I wore for her wedding. My mother-in-law suggested that if she liked mine, she could request it and borrow that from me, but she wanted a new exact piece. It caused arguments, and then my father-in-law announced that the wedding gown would be decided in the end. So my sister-in-law recently told everyone that just like I excluded her from my wedding preparations, she cannot tolerate me participating in hers. As I was right there, I told her that I had no problem and I could leave right away along with my money. No one spoke for a few seconds, and my sister-in-law stormed off in a huff. My sister-in-law's wedding is getting crazier with every day, and I cannot figure out what she thinks of herself. She did not talk to us after I told her that I could take my money back, and we did not even get much involved after that. So my in-laws knew that I had minded my sister-in-law's tone, and they wanted to make up for that. They invited us for tea the following weekend. We were chit-chatting at my in-laws' place when my sister-in-law showed up and said that as my in-laws were going to repay the money after the wedding, it meant that they had borrowed and I was not paying for the wedding. She went on and said that she was only going to invite her brother and I could forget about her wedding. My sister-in-law sort of scolded her and sent her away. I did not say anything at that time, but I knew what was to be done. I came back home and transferred my money back to my account. My sister-in-law's wedding dress is pending, and they had to pay for the venue too, and the money remaining in the account is too less for that. I'm curious to see how she is going to react. My mother-in-law called me and apologized over and over again. I told her that it was not her fault and she could relax. She even came over and almost begged me and said that the wedding was just around the corner and if I could do them a favor just for their sake. I told her that I had no problem with them, but my sister-in-law just could not tolerate me if I was not attending the wedding. I was not spending on the wedding and they could take a loan. My father-in-law brought my sister-in-law the next day and told her to apologize or her wedding was cancelled. She yelled and wept while I did not say a word. My father-in-law told her that she had to behave herself, or not only was her wedding going to get cancelled, but he was also going to kick her out of his house. My sister-in-law apologized and told me that she was going to behave well. I hope she sticks to her word, or I was not going to spare her next time. NTA, OP did a great job and kept speaking for herself while OP's husband was such a mute and absent person. He could see what his sister was doing and how she acted, but he had nothing to say. OP should have kicked her husband out too because he needed to wake up. Also, the way OP's in-laws tried their best to control that bitch and valued OP was appreciable. NTA, OP's sister-in-law was the queen of typical sister-in-laws, as she had no boundaries and was just unstoppable. I don't get why OP's husband was so passive and could not deal with his sister. OP should have let the wedding get cancelled because that was the only way to bring sister-in-law back to her senses. She had serious problems and needed help. My husband and I don't have the best relationship, but it is also not the worst. He has a habit of doing things behind my back, and I'm supposed to accept it because I'm a housewife. I cook, clean, run errands. Anything to do with domestic things is my responsibility, and I'd be fine with that if my husband didn't throw it in my face. This being said, I don't take BS, hence why he is regularly frustrated with me. I stand my ground and withhold my responsibility when he does the same. And he doesn't think this is right, as I apparently do, nothing all day. I barely have no free time. The issue is his parents lost their home due to terrible financial decisions. They asked to live with us, and I immediately said no. I knew I'd have to clean up after his parents while he goes out. Precisely. They could have gone to his 3 other siblings' houses, so it wasn't like we were their only choice. Despite me saying no to his parents staying with us, I came back from shopping with all their stuff moved in. I'm livid and argue with my husband, and he says he pays the bill, so I have to deal with it. Fine. But I'll tell him I'm not doing anything in the house anymore, and he can fend for himself. He got cocky and thought I was bluffing. I lived up to my promise and could see he was getting more and more angry with my new freedom. It all came ahead this weekend when I went to the kitchen and made only enough dinner for myself. His parents asked if I could make another portion, and I said no. His mom started berating me. Then my husband got involved and yelled and called me a bitch. I simply put my AirPods in and drowned him out, walked away and ate my dinner in my bedroom. After some time, he and his parents came to me and I could see he was speaking. My husband then lifted up my hair and saw I had my AirPods in and was not listening to a word he had been screaming. He asked if I had them the whole time, and I replied back, of course. His dad laughed and was clearly finding this amusing. Then, all of a sudden, my husband burst out crying, like seriously bawling his eyes out, sobbing that I'm emasculating him in front of people. Me and his parents were silent and in shock by this. To paint the scene, he was crying loudly, sitting on the floor. Then his mother cradled him while his father looked like he was about to laugh. I thought the whole thing was ridiculous because he brought this upon himself. I said, I don't know why he's acting like a victim, picked up my purse and left to go hang out with my friends. The next day, my husband did not speak a word to anyone and slept all day and looked depressed. His mother berated me again and said, I'm breaking her son. If I'm being honest, I'm starting to think I handled the situation a bit too petty. NTA, he seems to be treating you like a sentient appliance. You are a couple. You told him you did not want to host his parents. Apparently, it never dawned on him to negotiate. It never dawned on him to tell mom to help around the house. It never dawned on him this is your home too. He just moved the folks in, and it seems his parents are equally rude, not even offering to help you. Even when I have been a guest with family under good circumstances, I always helped in the house. When forced by adverse circumstances to live with family, I helped even more and expressed gratitude. They can all stuff it. Stand your ground. Better yet, tell them if they wish to treat you like an appliance, you will return the favor. If they wish to treat you worse than hired help often gets treated, they had best be paying you. Frankly, behavior like this was one of the reasons I practically celebrated when my ex divorced me. I was damn sick and tired of being treated like this. Being a housewife or stay-at-home mom does not mean you must accept poor treatment. Honey, I don't want to jump on the usual divorce him train, but you deserve better. Your husband and his family don't care about you and your needs. You didn't emasculate your husband. He emasculated himself by listening to mommy and daddy. You are NTA, and I hope you leave him. I'm a 39-year-old male. My wife is 38. Our daughter is 11, and our son is 9. My wife and I both work jobs where we make between $70,000 to $80,000. She makes a few $1,000s more than I do. My wife's mom was not financially independent, so my wife is very scared of sharing finances. We have completely separate bank accounts. We charge shared expenses, groceries, kids' activities, etc. to our separate credit cards. And at the end of every week, we give each other the bill for half of the expenses we paid that week. It's a weird system, but it works for us. My wife and I also care deeply about not letting our kids go into debt for school. So every month, we both contribute $100 to my daughter's college fund and $100 to my son's college fund. So each kid gets $200 total per month. Last weekend, we were doing budgeting, and I asked my wife to send me the money that she owes for the kids' college funds. She said she didn't have the money. She said that she had made some big personal purchases this month, including new car tires, a name brand purse, and a fancy hairdryer. And she didn't have $200 to spare for the kids' college funds. So she said she wouldn't contribute for the month of May. We got into a fight because I said that if she had money to spend on a purse, she had money to go towards our children's futures. And she acknowledged that she did wrong, but here's the part where I might be the a-hole. My wife said it wasn't fair for our kids to get stiffed because of something she did. So she suggested that I contribute her part to the kids' college funds. That would be $400 in total for me to spend. I told her absolutely not. I do have the money available, but I believe that paying her part would set a terrible precedent. If she wants to be financially independent, I'm happy to do that, but it means that I won't cover for her when she wants to buy special treats for herself. I told her to find the money or our kids would get stiff. My brother said I was being an a-hole to my kids and that I should just pay her part because my kids don't deserve to be punished for their parents' way of separating finances. AITA? My wife said it wasn't fair for our kids to get stiff because of something she did, so she suggested I contribute her part to the kids' college funds. Huh? She can't do math enough to budget for tires, a purse, and hairdryer, which were not all necessary to purchase in the same month. But she can quickly do the math to say you should cover her? Dude, no. This will become a monthly thing if you do it once. You can let her know that when the kids come up short, you can show them why. NTA. BTW, missing $100 per kid for a month is not exactly dooming them to work in the diamond mines, for everyone saying you would be stiffing the kids does not understand how investment accounts work. You could both invest $1,000 per kid per month. The only guarantee they will have enough for college is the whim of the stock market. NTA, weaponizing her own children to get you to cover her extravagant decisions? How scared can she be of separate finances when she's effectively spending some of your cash by spending beyond her free spending limit in the knowledge that she can rely on you to cover the essentials of building for the kids' futures? I wouldn't cover her, or she will slowly take over part of your pay by simply not paying towards her children in the knowledge that you will cover any shortfall if she decides at any time she wants her money spent on purely personal items and not on or for the kids.